All right, we're gonna do a trade recap this way now, in-depth trade recap. Right now, this will be for the Discord, but I'll probably start posting it this way at the end of the day for the Discord and on YouTube. Again, switch things up, see what works for the YouTube channel and everything. And I'm on a losing streak right now. We all know that, and I'm honest with it. And I'm trying to figure out what the best solution is to get through this again, because I've been here before. Usually, I do size down once I get below $2,000, and that's gonna be the game plan now of drawdown. So now we have $1,950 of drawdown. So I'm going to scale down to $150 of risk per trade, $125 to $150 of risk per trade, and target that 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and slowly build my way back into my buffer where I want to be. Because again, we have 10 PA accounts. There is no rush of building these accounts. The goal is longevity on these accounts and get them into a position where we build that buffer and can take consistent profits out over a long period of time. So I want to go over today's loss. I think I rushed today's loss, and again, I go back and watch these myself. It's basically like my little journal. I'll just post it here for you guys if you guys want to learn from my journey, but that's totally up to you. This is my journey. I'm not the best trader in the world yet, and I explain that in all my recaps and stuff. I just post the truth, guys. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I truly believe I'll get there one day if we keep putting in the work, right? So I want to go over today's trade. We're going to go back and back test it, so this will be easier for you guys to see it now instead of me just talking over it. And see if you guys like this video more than just me on my iPad. Again, if you've been in the Discord, you know I do my in-depth recaps on my iPad usually. But we'll see if we do it this way, and maybe it'll be a little bit more helpful for you guys, right? So coming into today, news. I thought it was going to be bearish, right? Because, let's see. Let's go to news. You guys should be able to see it. CPI, right? CPI month to month came out above. It was 0.1% above the forecast. I thought that was going to be bearish for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. And also the unemployment claims came out way more than expected. 263K. Forecast was 235K, so I thought that was bearish news also. And the other news, like core CPI month to month and CPI year to year, both came out the same. So I also thought, hey, the market could probably be choppy, but I want to see us at least come out and take out data lows, especially if we come up and take out data highs, right? But price decided to continue up, and we ended up getting stopped out right away in the trade. And I want to go back and just look at my mistakes I could have done for me to do better. And again, be honest with you guys and with myself, because again, I haven't went back and back tested it yet. I'm on a 3-trade lose streak, so I went to the gym today. Of course, it's a little bit stressful when you lose multiple trades in a row, especially when you're on funded accounts and you have 10 PA accounts and you have trailing drawdown, you're not past that buffer yet. Takes time, right? So let's go into today's trading day. Right here, I have 2 separate tabs open for you guys so you can see what it was looking like. So we had these data highs, data lows, data highs, data lows. We had these 4-hour highs marked out. NASDAQ, these should be marked out also. We had these 4-hour highs. Where were they created? Up here, right? So these were created at, let me make sure we have the right ones. Excuse me, these 4-hour highs were created at 6 a.m. These ones were created at 6 a.m. Okay, yep, that's the right one. All right, so let's go to the 5-minute time frame, right? I start off usually on the 5-minute time frame with my trading journey. Sorry, that's my dog Turbo in the background. All right, sorry about that. The dog started barking. I'll probably edit that part out because, again, the dogs are loud. So coming into market open, right? We'll skip to market open. All right, before market open, NASDAQ ends up coming out, taking out these data highs, right? Coming up into market open, we could see that NASDAQ ended up forming a high and a higher high, right? So a high and a higher high off data highs. I consider this an SMT, and then let's see right here, ES formed a high and then an equal high, right? I still consider that an SMT because ES never broke above these data highs. It failed to do it, and it started to continue down, right? What you can see also too is we get a 5-minute break of structure to the downside, and we also inverse a 5-minute, not order block, sorry, a 5-minute bearish fair value gap, right? We can see we inverse this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, and we break structure to the downside on this candle off of sweeping out data highs, and we have a 5-minute S&T, right? But what I should have been looking for is, again, we created those equal highs. My bias was to take out these data lows, especially on ES, because if we go to the hourly time frame, this hourly low right here aligns with data lows, and I truly believe these are going to get taken out either tomorrow or next week. But data lows with equal lows down here with an hourly low, so I really wanted to target that. But we go to the 5-minute time frame, right? I see NASDAQ break structure on the 5-minute time frame and inverse that 5-minute fair value gap. We didn't have a 5-minute fair value gap, bullish fair value gap here on ES, and we didn't break structure to the downside. I should have took that into consideration and noticed that, hey, ES is the leading index currently. We should probably be paying attention to what it does first. And both indexes should break structure to the downside to show us that, hey, both indexes are correlating with each other. We're probably going to continue down and take out those data lows, right? So as we can see, I ended up scaling down to the 1-minute time frame after seeing this on NASDAQ, right? And we can see we broke structure on the 1-minute time frame on ES right here. And then I marked out equilibrium from these highs to these lows, which was right here. And I wanted to wait for confirmation, right? So what I did is I wanted to wait for confirmation, and we ended up getting a candle up, I'm pretty sure. Yep, a reaction off of it. Candle closed down below. I wanted us to see us close below these lows. We end up closing below these lows. This was my entry right here at this low, putting my stop above this high for 9.25 points, risking on ES to target these data lows down below, right, for almost a 1 to 2. I actually have where equilibrium gets invalidated. It was a 1 to 2.06. That's where I had my stop loss. So equilibrium gets invalidated. This was my entry, right? And I wanted price to continue down. But what I failed to realize is we had 15-minute lows right here on NASDAQ, right? Let's get onto the 1-minute time frame. We had 15-minute lows right here. And then if we go to the 15-minute lows on ES over here, right? Let's mark these out. 15-minute lows. Here's the 15-minute lows. If we go down to the 1-minute time frame, we can see that we get faked out, right? Let's get on to the 1 minute on ES also. And we could see price comes down to these 15-minute lows right here. Let's see when we create the S&T. Yep, we create an S&T at these lows, right? So NASDAQ formed a low and a lower low off this 15-minute low. And then, what time is this at? 10:43. 10:40, right? We already formed that S&T. So right then and there, I should have noticed, hey, we're probably not going to continue lower. We're probably going to continue up because, again, we swept sell side liquidity 15-minute. Probably going to be a fake out, and we're going to continue higher, and we have this buy side liquidity above. But as you can see, I ended up getting stopped out pretty much right away. So what could I have done better on this? I think I personally should have waited for ES to break structure on the 5-minute time frame. As you can see, we never broke structure on the 5-minute time frame. We're still bullish on the 5-minute time frame on ES. We came down. We ended up forming an S&T off these lows, and yeah, we ended up creating equal lows, right? I still thought price was going to come down. I thought it wanted one more sweep to the upside, and then it was going to continue down and take out these equal lows and these equal lows, but it didn't want to. Again, the market's going to do what it wants to do regardless, so we were just totally wrong today, and I will admit that. But what I think we should have done today is seen that this, on the 1-minute time frame, we should have seen, of course, right where we enter, is that we ended up forming that S&T, right? Where was that S&T formed? 10:39, if we go to the 1-minute time frame. When did this candle close? 10:40, 10:39, right? We form an S&T on the 1-minute time frame off of these lows. And again, these equal lows technically. Well, actually, it would have been right here. Like this. Then we should have known that, hey, if we break structure to the upside, form a fair value gap, maybe retest it. Let's see if we can retest this fair value gap. I don't think we do. I think we continue higher. We're going to continue higher on ES. But again, we could see NASDAQ continue lower. I thought we were going to look good for a second, but we end up inversing this 1-minute bearish fair value gap, as we could see. Right, with a break of structure to the upside. We could have waited for a continuation confluence back into that fair value gap, which I'm pretty sure we ended up getting right here. Right, so we formed a 1-minute bullish fair value gap right here. I'm pretty sure this candle right here tapped into it. Yep, it did. We got a bullish candle closure out of it. This probably would have been the correct trade to take, but I missed out on it, putting our stops below these lows and then targeting these highs above here. And even maybe take profit one could have been right up here if you wanted. I'm not sure what this risk to reward would have been. Yep, around a 1-to-1. So that probably could have been the trade that ended up should have taken. But again, I thought we were going to continue down. I was just totally wrong. And we just wanted to continue up. And as we could see, if we play this trade, that it probably would have played out if we ended up taking it off of this. Let's see if it plays out. Pretty sure it does. Wait for it, and bang. Yeah, there it does. So, I mean, something I could take into consideration is to think, hey, if we form an SMT, right, and we break structures to the downside on one index, meaning the lagging index, because NASDAQ was the lagging index in this case, right? NASDAQ was the lagging index. We broke structure on the 5-minute time frame on NASDAQ and inverse that 5-minute fair value gap, but that doesn't mean anything because ES wasn't following. We had these lows down below, right? NASDAQ wanted to sweep those out and continue up, and even in this case with this S&T, right? Now NASDAQ is still the lagging index off this S&T. We formed a low and a lower low. ES formed a low and a higher low, right? So again, I just think we entered in a little bit early. My entry should have been waiting for another fair value gap fill or something like that. If we go to the 1-minute time frame, I think instead of just entering off of equilibrium getting hit like it did, I should have waited for a fair value gap fill or something else in this direction, not just to break a structure to the downside when we're already in a downtrend, you know? And I just got faked out, and that's really all I could say. So I think it was overall a good trade. I followed my rules technically, but again, didn't get emotional, didn't overtrade after I accepted the loss because we already took 2 losses on Tuesday. But again, I just think regardless, I should have seen that. And from now on, if I'm looking to take a trade and the leading index doesn't break structure to the downside, especially when SMT forms, and both indexes don't break structure, I'm not going to wait to enter a trade on that lagging index yet, right? Because the leading index is showing us it's not continuing down. So what I should be doing is, hey, if the leading index broke structure to the downside and inverse the 5-minute fair value gap, and the lagging index didn't do that yet, most likely you'll probably continue down. But if the lagging index doesn't, and they're not both correlated with each other, let's say both indexes break structure on the 5-minute time frame, that's awesome after a liquidity sweep. But again, the lagging index in this case didn't break structure. The leading index didn't break structure to the downside in the 5-minute time frame, didn't inverse any 5-minute fair value gaps. We came down, ended up just wanting to form equal lows and respect. Let's see where equilibrium is off here. I don't think we hit equilibrium. We didn't hit equilibrium up here. We didn't hit equilibrium up here. So again, the market just wanted to continue up. Should have used ES to show us that, hey, the market wants to continue up. It's the leading index. So this is probably the trade that we could have took today. But again, I don't know. That would have been a good trade for 92 points. So take profit would have hit. We probably would have been stopped at break even. Let's be honest. First take profit for 44 points. We would have put stop to break even here. Been stopped out at break even and edged out, and then price would have continued higher, but it still would have been a winning trade. So, other than that, we can't do anything now. Hopefully this is a good example for you guys so you can see the live back testing of the days. I'm going to start doing this more, and I'm going to go back and watch this every weekend also so I can just get better at my trading, see my mistakes, and what I'm going to take off of today is, again, if both indexes are not correlated with each other, I'm not going to trade. And if the leading index isn't showing us that we want to continue in the direction I want it to, and the lagging index is showing that, I'm still not going to take a setup just off of a break of structure or something like that. Once that leading index does break structure to the downside, then I'll look for my continuation confluences in a lower time frame and target that sell side liquidity down below, for example, today. So again, hopefully this is good help for you guys. I try my best to show you guys my journey and the truth. Again, we're all human, man. We all make mistakes. We all go on losing streaks. There's no 100% win rate strategy. I'm just trying to be honest and show you guys my journey until we get to the point where we want to be. Again, I don't sell any courses. The only thing I charge is $10 for a freaking Discord a month. I think it's worth it just to be involved in that Discord because it's with good people and we trade live every day. It's a good community. We want to get better together. And again, it's $10 a month, dude. I know you guys have the money to afford $10 a month to invest in your trading. So again, just show my journey. We'll grow over time, keep growing and getting better. And again, whenever I lose, this is when I deep dive. I want to figure out what I'm doing wrong. It bothers me. And I know I have to follow my rules and not overtrade and stuff. And that's what I did on Tuesday. I took one loss with a small size, and I should have walked away for the day. Ended up taking another trade later than I usually do, around 11:30, and I usually cut it by 10:30 to 11. And I ended up losing again, but it was still a small loss. I went half my position size. But again, we could have avoided that loss. But that's what we learned from today. I didn't take another trade. I wasn't in the right mindset. I saw an opportunity. I didn't take it to the upside. But again, I just think we did the right thing today, walked away, and even though it would have played out, that's just part of the game, guys. So we set rules for a reason. Sometimes those rules are going to look like they can be broken, but again, that's what keeps us consistently profitable over the long period. So again, hopefully you guys learned some stuff from this. I'm trying my best to help as many people out there as possible, just by showing the truth, just by telling the truth of my journey. And again, we have a lot of room to grow. We're the wheels are just starting to get going in our journey, and yeah, we'll just keep going from there. Cool. Appreciate it. Goodbye.